Okay, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of the Great BABCNE Cooking Show. Tonight we had hoped to have Abby from Thwaites Market joining us. Unfortunately, she and her family have had a personal matter and are unable to join us, but we will continue with our fabulous panelists talking about their businesses here in Massachusetts, the products that they have, their pandemic stories, and how their businesses have grown over the years that they've been running these businesses, and hoping to inspire you with all of the delicious things that they have in their stores for you to eat and to gift to other people. So why don't we get started with introductions, and I wonder, Ellen and Unity, if you could introduce yourselves and a little bit about how you came, where are you from, and how you came to be here in Massachusetts. Ellen, shall we start with you?
Okay, I'm unmuted. Yes, I've been in the United States for 22 years now. I started this business 12 years ago. After working for a little British company, we got taken over by corporate America, which I did not like at all. So I decided to do something I was going to like. And I opened my own personal pantry.
Muted.
Sorry, can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, I opened my own personal pantry and hoped other people would come in and help me keep it open. And we've been going for 13 years now. So we sell a good range of British and Irish food, and we have some great customers. We survived COVID, which was nice. Our online site exploded during COVID, which was good. We didn't have many people coming through the door, obviously, but all our customers were ordering online, plus a lot of other people found us. So we were very lucky because a lot of businesses weren't. So that's me.
Great. Unity.
Okay, now can you hear me?
We can.
Yes, good. Okay, great. Hello, good evening, everybody. I moved to America in 1982, and I opened my shop in September 1982. So in September of this year, I will have had a shop in America for 40 years. I knew nothing about being a grocer. I worked for a group called Led Zeppelin in England. And when the drummer died, unfortunately, we were a little bit at odds and ends knowing what to do, whether the group was going to survive. And at the same time, my mother-in-law in America had a sickness, and my husband said, could we please go and stay with my mum in America in Hingham, which is just up the road from me. So we moved. And then I thought, what are we going to do? My husband says, I want to open a record shop. I say, no, I'm not doing records anymore. Enough of the music business. I'm going to be a grocer. And so I wasn't actually. The reason I became a grocer was because I opened a typical British shop with Royal Doulton and Wade and all that sort of stuff. And people would come in and treat it like a museum. And then one day I managed to get some salad cream in the shop. And an English guy came in and he opened the bottle and he started drinking it out of the bottle. And I thought, that's what people want. They want food. They don't want China that chips. So I then, and it was hard 40 years ago to find British food in America. There was tons of Walker's shortbread and things like that, but there wasn't the day-to-day HP sauce, Cadbury chocolate, Smarties, Ribena, all that sort of stuff. So that's what I looked for, and that's what I got. And then after a bit, I did start importing food myself, but in the end, I gave up because I had a terrible time with the FDA and all their rules and relabeling products and finding the breakdown of what the product's made of. And I thought, I'm not going to do that anymore. But I will say to anybody who's interested, You can open a British shop anywhere you like and people will come. I probably could have a couple more British shops in, well, actually I was going to come back later and tell you that we do have quite a few British shops in Plymouth, and it is a great little town to visit, not only because of the pilgrims, but of course the British shops that are available, the pubs and things like that. But yeah, it's been very successful, and it's not me, it's British food and British gifts and British stuff. That's what people want, and they'll
I'm
buy
sure
it.
I'm sure you're a bit of a draw, Unity, yourself.
Well, I hope so. I hope I've got a sense of humor. Sometimes I don't. When people say to me, when they look at the tea cozies and say, "What are you doing with these cute little hats?" So. But, you know, you just sort of roll your eyes and carry on. It's fun.
Fabulous. Ellen, have you had any instances of misnaming of appropriate British teapot ware?
I had a lady actually put a tea cozy on her head and turn to her husband seriously and say, "What do you think?" And I was kind of trying not to laugh, but unsuccessfully. And I just had to kind of turn around and walk away. I couldn't say anything because I'd have just laughed. But she was deadly serious. She put literally a Union Jack tea cozy on her head.
Looks marvelous, madam.
Oh, it was funny, but yeah, you know, and you've got the obligatory people come in and they see things like spotted dick, and I call it the giggle rack. You know, when people get to there, especially because I'm in a college town, I've got a lot of young girls coming from colleges, and they get to there, and you just hear the giggling. So,
and they get their little cameras out and take pictures.
They do, yeah, take pictures. And
Fabulous.
yep, Unity
So,
will know exactly what I mean.
So from small beginnings come great advances. Tell us about the Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that. You froze and I clicked the screen and then it cut me off. Sorry about that. Ellen, let's come to you.
Sorry, where were we?
How did your business, what did your business look like when it started, and how's it grown?
When I first started, I just rented a little retail space near where I live, actually, and I basically bought the things that I liked, that I missed from home, because my reasoning behind that was, if it doesn't sell, at least I can eat it. So, but my inventory is purely customer driven. You know, over the years, people have come in and asked for different things, and I just get them in, and that's how it is. You know, I've gone from stocking a couple of hundred items now to 2,000 or 3,000 different items. You know, from crisps to biscuits to teas to Mr. Kipling cakes to cans of Heinz beans to God knows how many different kinds of chocolate bars and sweets and bags of sweets and so on. You know, people just love British candy. And that's definitely the biggest seller, as well as the frozen stuff, the meat pies, the bacon, the sausage, the black and white pudding, the haggis, all that stuff that is much more difficult to buy online because the shipping costs are horrendous. So for people to be able to come in here and buy that stuff, because I've already absorbed the shipping, they love it, which is great. You know, I want people to leave here happy. I don't want people going out, you know, thinking that there wasn't much stuff in here. I want them happy and want to come back as soon as possible every week, because we have bills to pay. You know, I used to drive before I had this. I used to drive a couple 100 miles sometimes to a British shop. I actually went to Unity's shop quite a few years ago when we were in Plymouth, and I've been to numerous other stores. And I wanted my shop to be what I wanted at the end of that 200-mile drive.
Now
Nice.
you've had 2 stores.
I've had 3 actually. I had one in Albany. I had one in Albany, New York for 3. I had the original one was in Pittsfield, which is where I live, and we had that one for 11 years. I closed that one a couple of years ago. I had one in Albany, New York for 3 years, and I've had the one where we are now in Northampton, Massachusetts for 5.5 years. And my life is much easier now. We're down to one location, and I've got everything under one roof. It was very stressful and lots of headaches when I was bouncing backwards and forwards between 2. I'm in a much happier place now with just one. So and I love what I do. You know, I love what I do. I love my customers, and I love hunting down new products, and it's just a fun job. If I can call it a job.
Unity, how about you? What did your store look like when you first started out? And
I was going to say, it
how's
was
it grown?
very sparse. There wasn't a lot in it, and I wasn't really sure what I was doing or if it was going to make any money. But I stuck with it, and as I say, British food and British goods will sell no matter how many shops there are around you or what have you. Always sell. People say to me, "Oh, I do love your shop," and I say, I sell good stuff. And that's what you come in for. I don't make any of this stuff. In fact, I've argued with people from time to time. They say, well, why doesn't this do that? And I've had to put my hands on my hips and say, I don't make the bloody stuff. I just said it. But yeah, and as I say, Plymouth as a town itself has changed quite radically. Not only do we have the British Import Shop now, but we also have the British Beer Company, which is a nice little pub. And then we've just had to open a new set of English tea rooms called Shelley's Tea Shop. And that's had very good reviews. And now we've got a new shop come into town that's called Fat Face, which is a British company. And they sell elegant and comfortable country casual clothes. So it's made Plymouth a good one-stop British shopping area. But I do encourage everybody else to carry British food because you'll make money selling it as long as it's fresh, as long as they can check the sell-by date and see that you're doing something, that it's all in date. You can sell an awful lot of stuff. It's a great, great business to be in.
But then they see the British date format and tell you it's out of date.
Oh, isn't that annoying? Oh, isn't that annoying? Yeah. And I'll pick up a bar that says 24/7, and I'll say, oh, this is the 24th month this month. We have many more months in England than you do over here.
Yes, there you go.
Fabulous. There is a question in the chat from Kathy. She is looking for BritsRus products, ginger ale and cranberry. Do either of you have that?
No, I don't carry any.
Not BritsRus.
You know what the problem with BritsRus probably is, that most of them are glass bottles, and therefore subject to very expensive shipping. And once you give them over to UPS, you probably, if you order a dozen cans or bottles in a package, you probably get 3 or 4 that come through okay. The rest will be broken. So I have a feeling that BritsRus is not a good one to ship across country. It's a bit like a drink we have in Scotland called Iron Brew, And they realized that shipping iron brew over to America, you were shipping water basically. So it was best to ship over the concentrate to the US and then mix it with soda water and sell it in bottles over here. You can get iron brew in cans, and if you can get it, grab it. But mostly it's in bottles these days.
You can get iron brew in cans in almost every Stop and Shop supermarket, because the president of Stop and Shop is Scottish, and we had him on one of our very first cooking shows, and did an interview with him, and he's very proud that he was the one who put iron brew on the shelves.
And I believe it was Stop and Shop that used to bring in the Scottish meat pies from Canada, until the the USDA decided that Canada had mad cow disease, and so we couldn't bring in the Scottish meat pies from Canada anymore.
Interesting.
Turns out in the end that the cow that was infected with mad cow was actually a cow that was raised in America and sold to the Canadian market, but that's another story.
Question from Jane Ollerhead. Oops, it just screened up. Can you find ground almonds?
Ground almonds are, I'm sorry to say, but if you want ground almonds, you have to go to Amazon. They have quite a lot of ground almonds. The one thing that I would really like to find is ground rice, and to make shortbread. And you can't get ground rice anywhere, but ground almonds are generally available.
I have stocked ground almonds in the past, but they weren't really a good seller, so it's not something that I kept up with. Yeah. And unfortunately, we can't stock everything. We have to stock the things that sell, because everything's restricted by sell-by days, and things that don't move fast enough.
As I tell people, we've probably got pretty small shops. I have a very small shop.
Mine
I just
too.
don't have the space to sell everything. I
Yeah,
just have to sell the top of the line.
Yeah, we have no storage space. Everything that comes in goes straight on the shelves.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I'm with you.
What are the best sellers?
God.
There's the soup du jour of British products for this week.
The frozen products, the sausage and the bacon, the meat pies, and so on, and the chocolate. The chocolate by far.
And the tea. Everybody wants PG tips.
Everybody wants tea. Yep.
They've all got their own favourite, and their Yorkshire Gold. And then, of course,
I'm from Yorkshire. I'm from Yorkshire, so Yorkshire's the best tea in the world. So
it really is, isn't it? It's the best. It's what my customers call a spoon standard, the Yorkshire Red. It packs a powerful punch. It's really good stuff. But then as I go along the shelves, the marmalade sells well, the strawberry jam sells well, the fruit pastels, they're just crazy fruit. Jelly babies, I can't keep enough jelly babies.
Yeah,
and all
the digestive biscuits and Jaffa cakes and
Jaffa cakes, yeah. Cadbury fingers, digestive, dark chocolate digestives.
Dark chocolate digestives.
Yeah, I agree.
They're by far the best-selling biscuit.
Yeah, by far the best-selling biscuit. Yeah, but ginger nuts are good. And then Branston pickle and HP sauce and Heinz baked beans,
pickled onions. Yep.
I wouldn't.
What is the strangest request that you've had from somebody to stock something?
I can't really think of anything offhand.
Any odd or unusual asks?
No, not really, because the things that are unusual to Americans are probably not unusual to us. Like, like steak and kidney pies and black pudding and haggis and stuff like that, which is we don't find as unusual. But Americans come and they say, "What's black pudding?" And we say, "Well, it's made out of pig's blood." And and same with haggis,
We should settle on Britvic. I think that's the most unusual thing I've been on.
Yeah. And they look at the haggis and they say, "What's haggis?" And I normally say, well, it's all the parts of a sheep you wouldn't normally eat.
That's right.
Yep.
But 200 years ago, if you were living in a mountainside in Scotland, You would be delighted to have a bit of leftover
Yes,
haggis.
you would. I love haggis. I used to work in Scotland a lot, so I got very accustomed to haggis.
Yeah, yeah. So if you killed your sheep that you knew well as Bob 2 weeks ago, you made sure
You're
you ate
going to
the
eat
whole
every piece of
bunch
it.
of him, everything of him. Yes. To hell with the dogs.
Absolutely.
How has the pandemic affected your businesses? Clearly negatively with closures and lower foot traffic, but have there been any positives, Unity?
Well, I was given leave to keep my shop open because I was a food store and therefore necessary. So basically I got through the COVID pandemic quite well. The only problem that I had was that I didn't plan ahead and think that nobody would be going home for Christmas. So people who usually go home for Christmas and celebrate at the pub and eat with their family and all the goodies and everything like that, they couldn't get home. And so I was inundated for Christmas cakes, mince pies, and various other things. And the desire was overwhelming, the amount of requests I got. And I sold out of everything over Christmas the last 2 years. The 2001 I was ready for, and so I ordered a little bit extra, but 2000 I did get an awful lot of requests for everything you can think of. Everything you can.
Are you still having supply chain issues?
No, we
getting
don't
products
have
in?
any supply chain issues. The only problem is that with most, and Alan will probably agree with me, most products for Christmas you have to order in June because
Yep.
they make them specially to order. So you can't put an order in on the 31st of November hoping to get it before Christmas, because unless they've got extra stocks, there's nothing there. And so people have to make do with bars of chocolate and ordinary stock rather than anything Christmassy. And the same with Easter too. We've got Easter and the eggs and everything coming up now.
Yep, they'll be coming in next week.
Yep, they will. Yeah. And you can sell tons of them, especially the Saturday before Easter.
Right.
Everybody comes in Easter Saturday. Oh, where's your eggs this year?
They're all gone.
They've all gone. And thank God for that, because they're no good on Monday after Christmas, after Easter.
So Alan, how about you? I know the online orders shot through the roof for you. Is that continuing?
The online, yeah, it is. It has continued since then. We've gained a lot of new customers. I mean, I hate to say it, but COVID was really good to us as a business. But like Unity, the Christmas things, the first Christmas, we had stuff come in and it just flew out because people weren't going home. They were here. So they were sourcing all the Christmas products, the mince pies, the Christmas cakes, the selection boxes, Christmas puddings, everything they were coming to us for. So we were sold out probably by the end of the first week in December. Everything had gone, all our Quality Street and roses and the big tubs of heroes and celebrations, they were just all gone. So the 2 weeks leading up to Christmas, we really had nothing. So what I did was we bought some little Union Jack boxes, and we were putting different candy bars in those and selling them as selection boxes, and just trying to be a bit creative. We were doing Christmas gift baskets with different things in, and
great
just trying to do whatever we could. Trying to do whatever we could, so there was something for people to buy as presents and things when they came in. We still had the regular candy, and we still had the regular cookies and everything else. So we just kind of started making packages up and selling them, and we still actually do that now, because people came in after Christmas and said, "Oh, I've got a birthday coming up. Are you doing the packages that you were doing at Christmas?" I'm like, "Sure." So you've got to keep moving. You've got to. If you just stay stagnant, nothing will happen. You've got to keep your products moving. You've got to keep looking for new stuff. You've got to keep trying to attract new customers. You've got to keep looking for different sources of of selling things. Like we sell on Etsy, we sell on eBay, we sell online, and you know, we're looking at new stuff all the time, because you can't rely on you. I mean, especially with COVID, you don't know if anything like that's going to happen again. You can't rely on people coming through the door.
Yeah.
And how do you
Thinking
stock?
outside the
How do you
box.
find the new products to stock?
Generally, it's our suppliers. You know, they say, I get email blasts and stuff like that. Hey, we've got these new products in, or you notice new products on the website. My mom will come in and say, hey, I've seen this in Sainsbury's. This would be good in your shop, because my mom's still in England. Same with my sisters. You know, they're always telling me about new stuff that's coming out, and so you know, once it's available, you know, we'll get it in and try it. It's always hit and miss. It's always a gamble when you buy something new, because you know, people either won't try it or they'll try it and not like it. Just because I like it doesn't mean to say everybody else will. You know, I get very personally offended if I get something in I like and then nobody buys it. That's you know, then I can't stock it anymore.
Eat it
Unless I eat
yourself.
it all. I know, unless I eat it all. My figure's bad enough. I don't need to eat any more chocolate and desserts.
How about you, Unity? Do you have a secret spy in the UK that's telling you about new products, or is it your suppliers as well bringing you ideas?
No, there's things that I can't get at the moment, things like walnut whips, and my brother says that they're still available in his stores over in the UK.
What I heard on those Unities, if they've been
Ah.
discontinued and they're bringing
Yes.
them back out and they're just calling them whips, and they're not going to have the walnut on top.
Ah, is that it? I wondered. I thought maybe it was the cost of the walnut.
That's what I heard. So they're going to bring them back out, but there's going to be orange and mint and coffee and plus the vanilla one, and they're just going to be called whips.
Whips. Okay, fair enough. That's one thing. But I find a lot of times that if someone from the UK tells me, you've got to try this, you've got to get it in, still people will walk past it, and they're just, mostly they seem to want their traditional scone mix.
Yep,
and
the basics.
Yorkshire pudding mix. And so I'm a little leery of trying a lot of new products.
So I heard
I find
you.
the customers a little staid. I find them a little stuck in, you know, they want their bacon, sausage, baked beans, and that's, you know, and the rest of the stuff. And they'll pick something up and say, ooh, marvelous creations. What are these? And I saw it's a new Cadbury bar with bits of, oh no, I don't think I fancy that.
See, I'm going to go by the case.
Good.
It swings and roundabouts, you know. It's just, you never know who's going to walk through the door.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
Are there particular vegan products or vegetarian British goods? Our former consul general was vegan, and when you were talking about the walnut whips, we did have a company approach us from the UK that made vegan versions of those, and we were struggling to find them here for her.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I've carried gluten-free products in the past. There are some vegan products as far as the Rowntree's fruit pastels and dessert pastels, and red and blacks and stuff like that are concerned. They're all putting big vegan signs on their bags now. But as far as specific vegan products, I've tried things in the past and gluten-free products, and they just don't sell fast enough. You know, they do have people come in and say, oh, you've got gluten-free stuff, but it's just not enough volume.
Yeah, exactly. I got some Linda McCartney vegetarian meals in, and they were stiff. They didn't, and I couldn't even eat them myself.
No, me either.
We have a question in the chat. If both of you just want to tell the audience what your web addresses are, I think you're going to have some people popping on there to have a look at your goods and maybe order. You can either drop them into the chat or just let people know what they are.
Yeah, sure.
So Unity, yours is BritishSupplies.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as is BritsRus.com. Unfortunately, right now I don't ship to Canada. To be honest, with the food, there's just so many different rules and regulations with what you can ship and what you can't, and keeping up with that is crazy.
Yes.
And you would just end up, you'd be shipping things to customers, and the customs people would be confiscating half of it, and the customer would only end up getting half the order. But we do ship to Boston, and Boston is 1-day delivery. I'm sure it's for Unity as well. So,
Kathy, you are saved. There you go. Ship things to your sister.
You've got a sister. Great. Yeah. We can always give it a try, though, see what happens. But it's their loss if customs take it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
mean,
hey, I wanted to remind folks you can drop questions into the chat. We have about 15 minutes left, so if you have specific questions for our speakers, please do chime in. My next question is for both of you, is what does the future look like? What sort of things are you going to try in terms of marketing, or what are you thinking about doing to try and raise the foot traffic and get folks back into your stores?
Well,
Alan, let's start
I'm
with you.
going to be pretty miserable and say that I've been doing this for 40 years. I'm in my 70s and I'm getting a little along in the tooth now. So I'm beginning to think, well, probably I've got 5 years at the most. I mean, it's easy to go down the shop and sit there and just, do the cash register and everything like that. But deliveries, unpacking boxes, putting stuff on the shelves, getting container loads of meat pies and haggis and all that from down south, it's getting to me a bit. So I have a feeling that I won't be building up my business. I'll probably be winding it down a bit. But I can't thank the British food manufacturers enough, and also the soccer things. I sell an awful lot of soccer stuff. I'm afraid there's only about 5 clubs that, I mean, I will get people coming and say, can you get me some like Brighton and Hove Albion, well, not Brighton because they're doing very well these days, but maybe Aldershot t-shirts. And a lady used to come in a lot and say, can you get me some Norfolk soccer t-shirts? But and I said, no, I can't. It's just too expensive to just ship a few t-shirts over. But basically, yeah, I think I'm winding down, really. I still pack up boxes and everything, but I'm getting a little long in the tooth, unfortunately.
There we go, listeners. There's a future opportunity for a young entrepreneur on the line.
There you go.
I don't think I have any trouble selling. It's a great business to be in. Yep,
agreed.
It is.
Alan, how about you?
Basically I cashed from my corporate job. I cashed out my retirement to open this, to start doing this. So my shop is my retirement. So I need to build this up so it is sellable, so I can, pass it on to somebody and hopefully get some money to live on for my older years. But as far as marketing and everything's concerned, we use Facebook, we use Instagram, we've got email marketing, we've got the website, obviously. We're starting to push the Etsy side a lot more with doing the gift boxes and the gift baskets. And I will keep looking for anything else we can do. The different streams more streams you can add, the more successful you are. And like Unity says, you can't thank the British population here who come and support us is phenomenal. The expats and the Americans who come in who have seen things on PBS and on the Great British Baking Show and stuff like that, and want to just want to do things. It's really
and as
amazing.
you say, the college kids and their desire for chocolates.
The college kids their amazing amount of disposable income always astonishes me.
Yes. Yes, it's great, isn't it? It's
It
wonderful.
is.
Yeah. And they do love their chocolate.
They do.
And they're quite happy to spend money. Quite happy.
Is it Dairy Milk or Galaxy, or what are they after?
It's a bit of
Yeah.
everything, you know. They love they love the chocolate, they love the soda, they love the crisps, because we have all these different flavored crisps that you just can't get here. You know, my biggest selling crisps are prawn cocktail.
Yeah, me
Mhm.
too.
Yes,
Yeah,
Me
love
too.
them.
yeah, and it's like, who'd have thought it? You know, you expect cheese and onion or salt and vinegar, but no. I have a lady who buys prawn cocktail skips by the case, and she buys a case every 2 weeks, and
Right.
it's yeah, you know, and I'll take customers like that all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they love it. I mean, they'll pick them up at first and say, prawn cocktail. What's a prawn? What's a prawn? And you say, well, it's a shrimp, and they're like, ugh. And I'm like, try
Ew.
them, and they
I
try them,
see
and they come back and buy more. Yeah,
It's fish and chips. And it is
That's
it's
fantastic.
amazing. I had a lady in the other day, I want to see your gourmet crisps. I said, I don't sell gourmet crisps. And she said, oh, this one's here, roast chicken. I said, they're not gourmet. That's what you find in English supermarket.
smoky bacon. Yeah,
Yeah, we're not trying to be fancy. We're
But
just
they definitely sound fancy.
plugging
A
away.
little bit of more of a touch than salt and vinegar or plain salted that you get here. So
Well,
it's
people say to me, why do you make them like this? And I say, it's because we don't want to end up with being overweight. And so we don't dip our crisps into massive amounts of sour cream and seasoning. We like our crisps seasoned already. So I said, you can't go into a pub and expect to have a bowl of sour cream put in front of you. You won't be very crisp and eat it with beer. So no, it's much more sensible this way.
another thing I found especially highlighted with the crisps is, we get the Brits come in, the Brits have got to have Walker's crisps, but you get the Irish come in, they have to have Tato.
Potato.
So you end up stocking both, and people buy
Yes.
ridiculous amounts of crisps.
Yeah. They're a loss leader. They're
They
well
are.
worth
You don't make much money on them. They haven't got a great shelf life, so you have to move them fast.
But they tick
And
over.
yeah, but they bring
Tick
people
over.
in.
They're really good.
You know, you just hope they buy other things while they're in here.
Yeah.
lots
It's
of
not a
things.
bad little earner, is it, Alan?
It's
Not a
what?
bad little earner.
It's not. It's not. You know, I'm not complaining. I'm. You know, we're never going to be rich, are we? But we make a living.
No, but it's a nice way to make money.
It is. It's a fun way to make money.
And
So,
people say to me, "You lost your accent," and I say, "No, I'm around Brits all day long." I tell you what, it couldn't be better. You know,
Yeah.
I'm here in America with all the stuff that I get in America, and I've got my English Brit friends, and I've got my English crisp and English food.
Absolutely agree.
Where go wrong?
So we're heading into the Easter, the roll up to Easter, and you talked a little bit earlier about Easter eggs and that you're stocking them. What other sorts of Easter products do you bring on? Do you have hot cross buns and other things like that, or are the eggs the main seller?
Eggs are the main thing, I think. You know, especially the Cadbury's cream eggs. Obviously, they sell those here, but the British ones are just, I'm sorry, they're just so much better. They're not made by Hershey. They don't have the waxing agent in them. They don't have the high fructose corn syrup in them. The chocolate's creamy and it sticks to the roof of your mouth. It's just so much better. I had a lady come in a few years ago and had the store in Pittsfield, and she came in, she said, how come your Cadbury's cream eggs? Because my Cadbury's cream eggs are $1.95 each. She says, I can buy a 3-pack for that in Big Y or whatever. I said, let's do the Pepsi challenge with the cream eggs. You bring your 3 in and I will give you one of mine. And she did. She brought it in and she said, have you got a waste paper basket for these? And she bought 10 of mine and threw hers away. So
Great. Great. It's true. It's true. The chocolate is so much better.
Yep, it is. It's people come in, and I think people come in the store and they look at the candy and they say, I don't like Cadbury's. And I have to say, with all due respect, you've probably never actually had Cadbury's. You've had that stuff that Hershey put in a Cadbury wrapper. And I understand that Americans grew up with Hershey chocolate, and chocolate it's about those memories that it brings, and you taste things that you haven't tasted since you were a kid, and it does. And I'm sure American kids respond to Hershey the same way we do to Cadbury's. But
yes,
Cadbury's is just so much better. I'm sorry, it is.
Far superior.
Yep.
Ellen, we have a question from Kathy. She can see the bear on the shelf behind you. She asked, do you have any vintage Paddington bears?
I don't, I'm afraid. I've got bears that people have given me. I have kids bring bears in, and I've got a little girl brought me a Bratz doll in with a little Union Jack skirt on. She said, my doll told me she wants to live here and I can come and see her. So I've got her up on a little shelf, and the little girl comes in and she waves to a little doll every time she comes in. And people brought me bears in, and people bring me things, to decorate the store. I've got little wooden phone boxes and all kinds of stuff all over the store that people have given me, and it's just decoration. We can't. I would love to stock. There's some really, really great cuddly toy companies in the UK, but you need a special license here to sell those. They have to be inspected by the FDA to make sure there's no animal fur in them, and so on and so on, because I did look into it, and it was just way too complicated, and the license was far too expensive, so I just don't.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. But
is there anything apart from things like that, what are the things that you wish you could stock?
It's my thing is, I wish I had more space so I could stock more stuff. I do concentrate on the food, because the food is what people want. The rest of the things people can buy online. I've tried the Irish jewelry. It didn't really, it sold, but it didn't sell very fast. I do sell a lot of Harry Potter stuff. So we do sell the chocolate frogs, the Birdie Pots, every flavor beans, gummy rats, butterbeer, all that kind of stuff. And I do have a little cabinet that's got some magic wands in that a friend of mine in Connecticut makes. They're all handmade, they're all wooden. And, people come in and, the one chooses a wizard kind of thing with the kids. And so that's a little bit of fun, because I'm a huge Harry Potter geek. So I get to indulge in that. I have a big, I'm going to turn my camera around a minute and show you Fluffy.
Nice.
Everybody who walks in my store. So he's my security. He's my security. So yeah, and I've got stuff up on the wall like Dolores Umbridge's wand and the sword of Gryffindor, and yeah. So Harry Potter geek.
Good.
and that's the kids come in and they love that. We've got chocolate wands, and unfortunately the chocolate wands and all the Harry Potter stuff is made in the USA, but it's
doesn't matter.
It's Harry Potter, and people love Harry Potter, so that's what we do.
I think a chocolate wand would definitely choose me.
Yep, and I can make a chocolate wand disappear.
Me too. That's a good one, actually.
For my next trick.
Exactly. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to both of you, and I hope that we will be able to encourage you back to talk to us again, perhaps around the Queen's Jubilee or something later in the year.
Stuff is coming in. I bet Alan's getting some things too.
Yeah, I'll be getting some of that stuff too.
Yeah. I don't carry
so what sort of stuff can we expect? Is it coffee mugs and
coffee mugs, teacups, spoons and plates, and typical British memorial stuff.
Well, we don't collect them, but the Americans
no,
do.
the Americans do. It's more for Americans than British people.
Yes,
to be honest. The last batch that came out was for Harry and Meghan's wedding. So,
yes.
And I couldn't keep up with that stuff at the time. I'm not sure people will be buying it now, but you
Right.
know.
Yeah, true enough. We'll probably be bringing them back
Yeah.
for a full refund. I have
What's
But yeah,
the
so
timeline
Sorry.
until those Jubilee things arrive? When can
Yes,
people
lot-
expect to see them?
I think it's they said the end of March, because they're taking pre-orders for the stuff now. I think
Yes.
it's the end of March that they're expecting delivery, so we'll probably get them in beginning of April.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so if people actually wanted to order something, they should go to your website.
Yeah, I'll be putting stuff on the website before it comes in and just say, well, I'll put it available for pre-order. Because it's nice to have stuff sold before you even get it. That's great.
Oh yeah.
You know, if I could do that all day, then take that. But yeah, so we will have stuff, and people will, because people collect the mugs and the teapots and the teacups and spoons and stuff like that for all these things. So
Funnily enough, it's one thing I can't get. I cannot seem to get any posters of the Queen or any pictures of the Queen, and I get
Agreed.
an awful lot of requests.
Yep, I've struggled with that too. I've not been able to find anywhere that does that.
Yeah, no one. Yeah, and I get
It's
so many
something to
requests
do.
for the Queen.
Yep,
Yeah,
maybe we
it's
should
something
start
to
a
do with
business
the
in the thing.
licensing.
Yeah, I should think so. Yes, all the poster companies.
Yep.
And Spotify and things like that have bought up all the rights to everything and doubled the price.
Yeah, Getty
So-
Images and places like that. You've got to be careful. You've got to be even careful of the images you use on your website. When I first started and I was a little bit wet behind the ears, I put an image on my website and I got a lawyer's letter from Getty Images, and it cost me $2,000 because I got this image that I didn't have the rights to.
Wow.
Yeah, you do. You learn the hard way. But yes,
You do.
I had the manager of Duran Duran come into my shop one day and tell me to take down all my Duran Duran posters because I wasn't authorized to sell them.
Wow.
And I, here you are, you can have them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
and
incredible.
a
Right.
tiny little shop in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and you're going to come in and tell me to take down my 6 Duran Duran posters? Really? Oh.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Yes, Simon Le Bon sure did miss out.
His loss.
You should
His
be
loss.
Lucky these days. Indeed.
Now, can you
Well-
get my Harry Styles posters in next?
So thank you both so much. It's been a very enlightening and entertaining discussion this evening. Some lovely comments in the chat. So I wanted to hand over to Judy to talk about the next program that she has just set up. That will be the next one in this series before we sign off. Judy, over to you.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I just have to mention Alan. I had a cousin named Alan Greaves, so this is very interesting.
Oh, wow.
So the next program is actually going to be March 27th with Nick Calius, and he will be at the Colonnade, and we'll be filming it, and we're trying to figure out what we'd like to have him make. So we have a few thoughts on lamb or shepherd's pie. So he's willing to join us again. He's a great guy, and it's very informative.
Anyone
like to
on the
mention-
call like to make a suggestion as to what we
Oh,
could get
definitely.
Nick to whip
I
up?
would like to say if they're doing shepherd's pie, please don't put sweet corn in it. We
Yes,
can't
oh my
grow
God, no.
sweet corn in the UK. we can't
No.
grow sweet corn in the UK. It's
No
not
sweet
hot
corn.
Yeah,
Okay.
no sweet
never
corn. And you
put-
have to make it with lamb. Please don't make
Okay.
it with beef. Shepherds don't look after
Yes.
cows.
That's,
Okay.
yes.
Well, then it will be a cottage pie if you make
That's
it with
correct.
beef.
That's
Yeah.
right. That is right. All right, wonderful. Thank you. Thanks
Thank you
everyone
so
for
much.
joining. And this the video of this will be available on the BABCNE website, and also will feature in our upcoming newsletter, which should be out possibly at the start of next week. So once again, thank you everyone for joining, and have a great night.
Well,
Been an
thanks for the
absolute pleasure.
opportunity. It's been a lot
Thank
of
you.
fun. Lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Bye.
Okay, guys, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.